This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hi team. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we will start.
Good morning.
So, meanwhile, they join, right? I would like to know just like your brief introduction and like what the technologies you know and currently you're working or not. It which will give me to elaborate more on this training and I can understand like how much you know and I can deliver based on that perspective. So like like whatever the training, like whatever the content we will discuss, it's totally depends on what we already learn. So I would like each and every one to just introduce yourself, like your name and like specific to Splunk, not all the details. So how much you know the Splunk and why you would like to learn this Splunk and like that. It's a two to time. Like if I say it myself, Abdul, currently I'm learning this Splunk to explore myself in the site reliability engineering perspective, where I can create the dashboards and create the alerts and implement a good observability tool. So similar kind of thing. Like I would like to everyone, even like we have limited team, so that we can explore more. Can we start? It's a voluntarily I want, or else. So can anyone start from your self introduction? Hope this I think this training is for job oriented, right? Like once you learn all the Splunk concepts, you will apply to job and you will try to like get the job, or else it's a like, academic purpose you are learning to have good to have this knowledge also. So if this training is related to job purpose, right, I would like you people to more interactive and so that right you can explore more from your end and whatever you are understanding is different from articulating. So whatever we know, right, if we put it in articulation in the sense, if I am asking what's a Splunk, then you should be giving the brief answer where it reflects what actually Splunk is. And that is a key in a software industry in a real time also. And Splunk, as I mentioned yesterday in an introductory call, like a session, it's a what I can say, it's ruling the market, I can say. Even like if you can directly join as a Splunk engineer, and if you are on a production support and which you are working on a tool on Splunk, then it will this sessions or this training will helpful you to like create the dashboards and create the alert and understanding is the key thing, like conceptualization, right? Like if you should understood what actually Splunk is and how in a real time this Splunk will helpful rather than like understanding the abbreviations and like some of the what I can say, right, context or something. So you should understand, like if you are working on anything, not only Splunk. So like if you are learning something, right? So you should understand how I can apply this part in my real time. Like even if you see Splunk, right? you should understand the necessity of the Splunk, like how Splunk will be helpful for in like software industry, and even software industry, as I said, right? Even some of the investigation agencies also, they will like upload the data and they will analyze and they will finalize what actually going on. So I would like to start with Naresh. Hey, Naresh, right? Hope you are okay, right? Like share
Yeah,
your
yeah,
just
yeah,
a
good.
brief description, or else I am
Yeah,
very asking very high level questions. It is a very interactive. I'm happy to be have some interactive way. Even like no one is expert to learn anything. You know, like if you know whatever you know, you can mention whatever I know. I'll try to do my best based on my experience and. If I don't know, like even I get the details and I'll try to give my best to deliver to you so that you can understand in a better in a good way so that you can articulate it in a better way and like conceptualize, I can say, right? The concept. Yeah, Naresh.
yeah. Good
So
morning, everyone. Good morning, Abdul. Thank you for that. I'm working from last 20, near about 15 years in the IT, having a knowledge of Hyper-V, virtualizations, VMware, and a little bit of Linux and cloud also. For learning this Splunk is the upcoming future of the cybersecurity. First step to diagnose and check the logs, what attacks are going on, what traffic is coming in a network, how to protect it, and what the action you have to take in instantly when the attack is started. And it's the best tool to learn in in field of cybersecurity.
yeah, super, Naresh. Thanks. Yeah, I would like to share someone. Do you want me to call or else you are okay? Samir. So, like, irrespective of experience, even freshers, if you are fresher, just share your screen. Yeah, I'm a fresher. I would like to learn this Splunk. I know this one, and I would explore this area. Like that, you can explain. No need to worry. All are equal here. Like while learning. Yeah, please,
Uh,
Samir, can you explain? Yes.
yeah, I'm Samir. I have 7 years of experience in test automation, and I'm looking to understand Splunk from perspective to build a dashboard for observability.
Great. Perfect. Hari Bhaskar.
Hey,
Hari
hi team.
Bhaskar, right?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I am able to hear you.
Yeah,
Yes, we are
this is
able.
Hari. Uh, Good morning, all. So I'm having around 12 plus years of experience in performance engineering, and already we have provisioned ELK stack and having some Kibana dashboard, but trying to explore much in Splunk since it has been going to provision in my project. So looking forward to learn all this stuff.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
So, Vishita, can you explain, like just introduce yourself?
Hi Abdul, I'm Pujita.
Hey, hi.
Splunk, Splunk has good opportunity, so I choose Splunk. I'm a beginner.
Okay, good. Yeah, Pomia, right? I
Yeah,
could see
Paumya.
here. Yes. Can you just yeah, introduce yourself, Pomia?
Um, Hello, my name is Paumya and I'm fresher here. I just recently completed my graduation and I want to um, learn about Splunk and I want to grow my career in the Splunk side.
Okay, cool. Great.
Thank
Yeah, Wilfred, can you introduce yourself? Wilfred, I could see yesterday you have asked a couple of questions. You are more interactive. Yeah. Hi.
Hello, Hello, everybody. I'm Wilfred. I started my career as an Oracle DBA, and then I studied AWS. I have a couple of certifications in AWS. I've worked as a cloud engineer and DevOps engineer. I'm switching to Splunk security because DevOps requires a lot of coding, and I'm not very, very good at coding. And also, as a DevOps engineer, you have to be coding and staying long hours in the house. In the office, and I prefer a job that I am going to have work-life balance. Like basically have time for work and also have time with my family. So Splunk is. I spoke with my manager and they put me on a Splunk project. Basically, I don't know anything, so I'm currently working on a Splunk Splunk admin, and just you know they have no documents, they have nothing going on. I'm looking at the environment; is all haphazard, so I'm just learning as I'm going. So that's why I want to gain more exposure, more information about how Splunk works, and build my career in Splunk.
Okay, fine. It's a great introduction. It's a Rajya, right? I could see Rajya.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Can you
Hi.
just brief about yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Rajalakshmi, and I'm working in US for federal government, and I am working in application monitoring side for production support, and we are
Mm-hmm.
using this for monitoring purpose, Splunk, and I would like to know more about creating dashboards and all that stuff. So yeah, that's all about me.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you.
Dhamesh, right? Dhamesh.
Yeah, Abdul. Hi, all. Good morning.
Okay.
So, myself, Dharmesh.
Yeah.
I have around 5+ years experience in IT. Uh, I have total 12+ years experience, but mostly in the non-technical background. So, last 5 years I'm working in the IT with production support project. So, Splunk I used for the monitoring purpose. So, I decided to make Splunk as my career. So, that's why I started learning.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thanks, Dhamesh. Yeah. John's, right? I could see Ghanc. John's.
Jansi.
Jansi, sorry. Why was missing the name? That's why.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Jansi. I would like to learn about Splunk fundamentals and admin roles. I already gone through some Splunk documents from the Splunk site. I want to learn more about creating the dashboards, visualizations, and Linux commands which we used for the Splunk queries.
Okay, it's a SPL
Yes.
commands queries. Okay, good, cool, great. So Sri, right? I could see Sri.
Yes, hi team. My name is Srivani and I have recently completed my masters in information technology. I have basic knowledge in C, C++. I just want to explore this Splunk technology more. That's it.
Exactly, fine. Am I
Thank you.
missing someone? Vishita, right? Vishita, did we complete it?
Yeah, completed.
Okay, fine, cool. Yeah, see, this is what, like, we completed the introduction and we completed the need of Splunk, right? If you understood, like, we have multiple team members, right? I would like the people with different divergence background. Some of them from performance engineering and some of them from like application support and some of them from like freshers who want to like go with this career as a Splunk. So like Splunk, all the like most of the areas it have been distributed. Like it's not a Splunk is not on a single entity, I can say, right? So this is part of one of the entity. So it's not like a Java. You learn it's a Java is an independent entity where you can work exclusively on Java or else a .NET, those programming languages. And when we come to Python, right? Python is a part of entity. Like I can say, some application support team will go through the Splunk and like the need they think they can learn more, like they can explore more. 1 second, I am sharing the screen. Good to know, guys. Like I'm happy. Like you people are like explaining very well each and everything. Okay, I would like this. Let me know if you people are able to see my screen. Are you able to
Yes.
see the PPT, right?
Yes.
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 Okay. So yesterday as a day one, like I have given very high level of introduction on Splunk, and today we will go to like in a specific detailed way, and like I have prepared this PPT and I'm preparing good content for you based on your requirement. So as I mentioned, right, this requirement is different from this people to people, requirement to requirement. I understood like what now today based on your introduction, and I will try to explore good content so that it will be helpful for your real-time projects where you can apply most of the things, right? This Splunk, rather than infrastructure level, the dashboard creation and alert creation, and the dashboard also, right? Like how we can create visualization and reports. So that will play a major role when we like talk about the Splunk. And I will explain these concepts also. What is SLA, SLO, and SLI? Do you know anything about what is SLA, SLO, and SLI? Service level agreement, service level objective, and service level indicators.
No.
Very good. Good answer. Like I am happy to say. So this is the one, right? The service level indicators, like service level agreement, right? The agreement, let's say one of the service, like product registration. So this is core concept, guys. Like be focus on what actually I'm explaining and explore more on that area, because whenever we are talk about observability and this Splunk, right, these concepts will play key role. So SLA, right, it's a service level agreement. So what actually service level agreement, why we need to have that service level agreement? So whenever we are giving some service, right, so there will be understanding between service provider and the customer. So as a software engineer, right, I will prepare, like as a Splunk engineer, you can say, I will work with customer and we will both understand, like for product registration, consumer registration, add to pack, like so let's say product registration itself. I will SLA, I will have an agreement with the customer. See my product registration, whatever the service I am building with whenever customer like try to register, right, the service will register within 3 seconds. Customer will say, why don't you like do better? Then he said, even like we'll put some buffer also, like in place of 3 we can say 5 seconds, and we will have some agreement. So if you breach that SLA, I think breach also you might have heard in like whoever working in industry, right? This is I'm giving in an in-depth way why SLA is important and why these things are important before like we start on a Splunk. Those are the core concepts, core pillars, right? That's one. So the service level agreement in between the customer and the service provider. So he will say like in 3 seconds, and they will build that application. And like if whenever that breaches, right, they will have some understanding like this much of penalty you have to pay, this much of billing. That could be different way. No penalty, but business ask I won't impose any penalty whenever you breach a SLA, right? So try to resolve that without going to next one. There is a SLA. It's a broader concept, sir. Like you can get multiple way of like defining this SLA in a different way with respect to organization, business to business. Like some people will define this SLA on the ticket resolve itself. Like they will put some SLA, like whenever some issue occurs, uh, team will react immediately and they will try to close that within 10 minutes if it is a P1 issue, and if it is a P2 issue, they should take some 4 hours to give some analysis, and one day if it is a P3 and there is no limit for it's a P4 kind of thing. So these all are kind of SLA, service level agreement. And as I said, right, there are multiple ways we can define these SLAs. Now coming to our topic. So after defining the SLA, right, we will go to the service level objectives. Service level objectives, right, we will sit and we'll try to create the dashboard, and we will try to set up some threshold that is called benchmark. So for example, consumer creation, there are 10 microservices it is internally using. For these 10 microservices, I would like to maintain the response time, latency we can say, right? Like the service request which goes to destination and serves the request. So we need to define service level objectives, like whatever the services we are implementing for product registration or consumer registration, we would maintain the 3 seconds latency, and if it is goes beyond, immediately we will act. That is the service level objectives, and that is also will differ from customer to customer, requirement to requirement. I am giving just one example. Hope I am clear, right? Everyone is following, or else I am just giving lecture.
Yeah.
Or else these terminologies are out of your scope. This is common thing. Like whenever we are working in a real time, we are starting in a career, like any observability tool. So like make sure we are learning observability, not just a monitoring tool, just creating the dashboard. No, we are learning this Splunk as a observability. So when we talk about us observability, right, like the concept which I am discussing, service level agreement, service level objective, service level indicators. These service level indicators, whatever the dashboard, whatever the metrics, whatever the alerts we are creating, right, those we will define like end metrics. Like we can say, I can create a dashboard with agreement with objective. I'll create a dashboard for getting product registration. So whatever the service is, right, I will put it in a Splunk query, and then I will maintain that dashboard. And that is a service level indicators, SLI, SLA, SLO, SLI. So these three things now, where we are putting in these three things in dashboards. Like we will create some benchmark, like customer create. So they'll say, oh my God, my application, it's very like fast. Like business will say, oh, I'm spending a lot of amount on this scaling of application. It should return within 2 seconds. Why you are asking 5 seconds, right? So we will check the feasibility and we'll convey, no, based on this infrastructure, this many requests it is coming, and this is the service, like it will come almost 2.5 seconds only, not more than that. So we will create some alerts whenever the request goes more than the response time. Response time, whenever it is goes more than 3 seconds, we will create an alert. As we are discussing in Splunk, right? In Splunk also, we will create a query. I will showcase, like, don't worry on whatever I am explaining, right? There will be good labs we will do. This is too early. If we go with the labs, I can like explain directly on the labs, but it is too early. You can't understand anything before understanding these core concepts. That's why I'm emphasizing more on these things, so that you can create that dashboard based on the requirement. So that lab sessions also I will start slowly, because once you get some understanding on this Splunk and uses of Splunk and real time what business is expecting, so those things, then I will start this lab slowly. So now we are discussing about service level agreement, service level objective, and service level indicators. So now what we are doing, the service level indicators with respect to dashboards. So what we are going to include in a dashboard benchmark, let's say product registration service, right? Like product registration service should respond within 2 seconds or within 3 seconds. If it is goes beyond that, we will create an alert. And what are the metrics? As yesterday's a couple of people mentioned, right? CPU utilization, memory utilization, and this one errors. So CPU utilization also, right? Like business stick with their infrastructure. They don't want to like scale anything, but they will expect a good response time and no hiccups. We should make them comfortable. I think as some of people they said, like performance engineering or performance testing, we have good tools like Jmeter, Blazemeter, and we can take the help from performance engineering team if we don't know, and we can run that load on our service, and we can take the metrics like how much like my service is responding. So that is the one. So apart from that, whenever the CPU utilization, we will create some benchmark. Like when CPU utilization goes beyond 70%, alert should trigger. Where we are creating that alert? Where we are creating? Come on, I want to know this one. I told for this what response time, right? So where we will create this alert for threshold also,
SLI.
CPU time. Very good. XLI in Splunk. Correct. Hope you people are understanding these concepts, right? It is very critical and very confused one also, and very important. Whenever you are quoting yourself, right? Definitely you will come across these questions. Why these questions? Because we are using the Splunk tool, which turn around this concept itself, like whatever I mentioned. So similar way, right? So we will create these dashboards based on some metrics, as I said, right? Traffic, latency, and error rate. Error rate also. Anyone know like error rate? What actually error rate is? I think you people are. Anyone heard about error rate anywhere? Like where customer was discussing, or else some project team is discussing about error rate.
Yeah, like in business transactions, we see that error rate. If it goes high, then we need to investigate.
Exactly. Do you know anything about error budget? Error budget. I will tell. So the name depicts itself, right? Error budget. So now you people are followed, right? What is SLA, SLI, and SLO, and why those are important before starting our Splunk and observability perspective. So error budget, right? So there are the concepts like availability and reliability and observability. So availability in the sense, right? So why we are using this Splunk? So to make my system available all the times. Yesterday I have given good example, right? Even though for 10 requests my system should behave same. Even though 100k requests also my system should behave same. It should not behave odd or some different way when request changes, the count of requests changes. So that is the reliability of the system and availability also, right? Availability. So whenever like have you people any time see the Google is going down 1 day, 2 days, or Amazon is going down? Like we were unable to make orders in Amazon or Flipkart. No, right?
No,
In my
no.
experience, I never seen Google goes down. Whenever I am asking, it is giving promptly. I never seen like Facebook goes down. One time it went down. It like impacted entire world, and they restored the system within minutes, not only days. How? Why that system goes down? Like that is the call availability. So whenever nowadays, right, the customer preferring their system to have more reliable and more available also. So why we need to learn this more? The Splunk is different, like this availability, reliability, SLA. Why? What is the connection in between, right? Splunk is the source to make the system is to maintain to monitor the system's availability and reliability also. If you are performing some 100k request and if it is giving wrong results and you come across with alerts, right, immediately you will validate and you will fix then and there itself. And availability, right, sometimes some due to some changes, not always system would be available. Some people do unintentionally, they'll put some changes into production which cause the system to goes down. In that place this Splunk will play a key role. Like the business don't know there is technical time what actually going on. As a engineer, like a Splunk engineer, we will create dashboards. What dashboard will give visualization of our service? Like in this case, when service goes down, how the metrics would be? Definitely there will be some change in the metrics. We could see some spike, or we could see some spike in response time. We could see some spike in error rate. We could see some spike in like memory utilization. If someone reports before customer reports, you could see like if you have prepared some alert, right, in Splunk. So whenever the request goes 70%, the CPU utilization goes 70%, memory utilization goes 90%, and you got an alert. So before impacting business itself, you are going to check and you can do multiple mitigation. Mitigation, actually, this is the term where you can restart the server and you make the system to be available. So we are avoiding this kind of downtimes in production, right? Do you know one downtime how much cost to any of the application site? Can anyone expect? I am running on a real-time e-commerce application and daily 1 lakh customers. Some simple I'm just giving. I am running an e-commerce application where customer purchase all the products, all the grocery items, all, and my system is available all the time. But due to some changes, I would like to improve the search functionality. I introduced some new system into my application. It was working fine, but when we pushed the production, we forgot, like the team forgot, or somehow the system got impacted and the customers are unable to place an order. So like per 1 hour, my customers, like 10,000 customers are visiting. So my if my system goes down for 6 hours, right? Like, do you think it is impacting anything on business, or else as a process we can ignore?
It will impact
As a
the
Splunk
business.
engineer, Yeah. So we, as a Splunk engineer, we should know, right? Like before impacting, we should create these alerts and these dashboards, and we should prevent those kind of like failures and those kind of outages. We can say this is the terminology, guys. Like we need to identify, as I said, right? Outages and mitigation. Those are new terminologies, but try to use whenever you are explore something. Net terminology also very much important when you are learning observability tool. So someone asks you, right, hey, what are you learning as a Splunk? You should say, I'm learning as a Splunk as observability tool, not monitoring tool. Monitoring everyone will do. Like so this is the one. Like now we have created an alert and we came to know something is going out wrong and it went also. Then as I mentioned, right, these traces will help us to fix that issue. So that is the one. And now you people got some understanding of what SLA and SLI and SLO, right? I will ask some questions end of this session. Be ready. Whatever we are learning, right? There will be some Q&A where I'll ask, and like we'll discuss tomorrow also. Whatever we have, I have covered, and you need to learn. Great. Like as part of agenda, I won't cover these many topics on only single day. I will cover a couple of things. So introduction of Splunk. Now I have given good introduction on Splunk and features of Splunk. So you know, right? Like so if you see, right, Splunk is a popular tool that helps companies understand information from computers, machines, and systems. It's like a big brain that gathers and looks at lot of data from different places very quickly. This data can be things like message from software, records of what happened on computer, measurement of from machines. Splunk helps organizations figure out what's happening with their technology in real time. As I mentioned, I have given these examples, right? Like Splunk will give real time view of what actually happening on their system, so they can fix the problem and make things work better. So that's what Splunk will play key role, right? As I have given example, someone is reporting an issue where I am unable to add to bag. So this is the place Splunk will play key role, and we will validate the logs and as a reactive mechanism. As a proactive mechanism, we will put some alerts, and we will validate whenever that issue occurs. Like we will validate the logs and we will try to mitigate. It's like having smart assistant that keeps an eye on everything and tells you when something is not right. So I think you relate, right? Whatever the examples we have discussed, like why Splunk is important. So the main features of Splunk is data ingestion and indexing and search, and visualization and dashboard, alerting and monitoring, and scalability and flexibility. So I'm sharing these notes after this. I will share this note after our like session, and I am trying to prepare very detailed notes, guys, and bear with me, and we'll go like I will explain all the topics, and we will go on the notes also. So I will share this note. It will be helpful for you, like wherever you are, whenever you are working as a Splunk, right? I will put more and more real time example, and I will try to introduce some conceptual things, and yeah, I will explore more. So the data ingestion, right? So this data ingestion is process of collecting and importing data from various sources into Splunk's platform for analysis. Data ingestion, right? It is play key role in my real time experience also, right? Business will ask to engineer, like its application support engineer wherever you are, like they will ask us, why Abdul, this much of data you are consuming for this service? Is there any way we can reduce the data? You know how observability tools cost on pricing? You know what basis these observability tools define their pricing? It is totally on data ingestion. How much data you are pushing to Splunk. Based on the data, they will charge. Like if you are pushing 50 GB, they will say 50 GB, this is free. 200 GB, you have to pay $10. If it is a 2000 GB, this one like $20, $2000 or something. So when you are pouring more data onto Splunk, you have to pay amount like that only. In this place, this data ingestion plays key role. So like Splunk is capable of ingesting different types of data, includes logs, event metrics, and streaming data from wide range of sources. So logs, right? If like yesterday someone said like in server, like whatever the activities we are doing, it will store as a text file in a server side, right? Imagine you have a web server that generates log files containing information about website visitors, their interactions, errors, and performance metrics. So these logs we can ingest to Splunk. So whatever the container logs, if you go with the cloud, there are a couple of AKS clusters where we will deploy these whatever the application, and those pods will generate, containers will generate, and we will push the logs to our Splunk. What we will get from that logs, we can identify how many visitors, what are their interactions. As I said, I am keep on saying I am adding to product, and I am registering the product, I am, and like all those things are comes under the interactions. Errors also. So how, from where these errors, we are keep on mentioning like Splunk errors, availability, all those stuff. When all these will work based on the data. So like so there is a Splunk universal forwarder agent to collect all the logs from server, and it send it to the Splunk for indexing and analysis. Splunk will take the raw data, give me whatever the data you have, and it will do some application, like it will do some it will process, and it will generate one meaningful reports where you can apply some queries, as we mentioned, like where we can create some good dashboards, and that is the one. So like some of the events, right? Events will happen, you know, like whenever we are attending the event like my class, if I ask, hey guys, why don't you give feedback on my class, I will give some questionnaire to you, and I will ask how my introduction went, and how I am covering the topic, and I will give some instructors feedback, and if I send a form, right, 10 members, I can evaluate. Oh, this guy I interested this one. Even anonymous, oh my god, this is the area. Even like I am putting some instructor, I'll ask instructor to improve this quality. And this is for 10 users or 10 manual interaction would be helpful. But when it comes to hundreds of users, hundreds of customers, right? How we can generate this? Like I can't go each and every report, right? I will define 5 questions. My Splunk will generate, yeah, these many customer like this part, these many customer like this one. So that is the events. In events perspective also, it will be very helpful. So metrics. So as I mentioned, right, this I have given already. A network monitoring tool like which gathers metrics such as CPU usage, memory utilization, network traffic, and this also we can push to Splunk, and we can monitor like how my network connectivity is in Splunk. Like there are source and there is a network. How those two systems will connect through the network only, right? We both are connecting some network, some channel. So we will check how those metrics while connecting, like I'm hitting some consumer registration service, and I would like to have some promotions from third party. So I am integrating that service, and I should make sure the network from source to destination should be always reliable, and it should up and running every time. So if we can't directly check, right, networking, so abstract thing networking, so we can push those logs, network logs, to Splunk system, and we can check how the connectivity, how the network traffic, one of my previous company, I had a similar kind of issue. We have cloud and Akamai, right, content delivery network. So out of 100, 20% of requests totally failing. So we validated nothing. We are we were able to found in my logs. I have created good dashboard, I have created alert, everything in place. Customer keep on asking, Abdul, 20% report, my like end report is saying 20% of my customers are struggling to place an order. Why don't you do some analysis? I was doing here and there, nothing. I said, right, nothing is going on at application logs. Then I started looking into the network side. Cloud people was saying, right, yeah, my cloud is good. And the Akamai people were saying, right, yeah, Akamai, I will give just a high level. It's a content delivery network. It will replicate, cache the static content at their place. So whenever we set something, right, first request, it comes to backend, and subsequent request goes to the cache. A cached response will serve from the Akamai. Just I'm giving an example. If you are unable to understand, just leave it. But yeah, I'm just to make sure to understand. Like they later we analyzed the traffic, whatever the Akamai is hitting to backend. After analyzing, we came to know there are edge server. One of the edge server where the static data resides, that was corrupted, which was not identified by the Akamai team, which was causing that issue. So we came to know, by how we came to know, we have analyzed this network traffic in Splunk, and we said, like, this edge server you have defined, if you have defined to connect to the backend application, only if like you have 10 edge servers, like one of the edge server, it is not at all giving any response. It is giving 404 resource not found. Then immediately they validate and they fixed the issue. That issue caused some millions of dollars lost to customer before fixing. After fix, yeah, it all good. So that is the metrics one, which is taking like a key thing, and streaming of the data. So real time, right, whenever we are uh, like in holiday season, and customer would like to number of orders placed in 10 minutes or 1 hour, so we can stream those live details to our Splunk, and we can we can visualize in a good dashboard. So what are the methods of data ingestion, right? So from agents, we can install, as I mentioned, Splunk Universal Forwarder, lightweight agents on the data sources, right? Whatever the servers, if you say in we can integrate with the cloud, we can integrate with on-prem, and we can collect those metrics, or else we can collect all those logs from those source, and we will push to the destination. And APIs also for third parties. Splunk will provide some REST APIs where we can hit and we can get the metrics or logs, and connectors also. We can use it's a high level, but most of the concepts it will around us like agents. Okay, so I would reserve this 10 minutes for recollecting what we learned today. So as I mentioned, we started with the clear importance of Splunk. like we started with introduction, right? After introduction, we came to know from divergent companies, divergent experience. We all here together to learn the Splunk. That gives the use cases like on different channels how Splunk is important. Later, we understood the importance of Splunk and we understood the concepts, right? SLA, SLI, and SLO, and why those are important with respective to Splunk. And we have gone through the data ingestion mechanism, and we discussed the detailed way. Okay, I would like you people to give answer. So may I know what is SLA? It's open forum. I don't want to call anyone and like ask whoever understands something, right? I can just brief about what is SLA, guys.
Service level agreement between the client and the service provider.
Okay, great. What is SLO? Hope all are following my session, right? Or else you just listening everything. SLO means.
No, we are following service level object.
Hope I am clear, right? The way I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
just explaining it is cool, right? I am giving. Don't think like we are spending much time. Like it's a Splunk is a core concept. We will go step by step, guys. Understanding real time real time aspects. Based on I have 13 years of experience in IT industry, more than 8 years with Splunk. I come across with so many issues in my real time. I would like to give good examples on that, and even I did lot of research in the market. Whenever I used to learn, right, I used to understand history and real-time use cases, even data structures also. Whenever I used to learn, I used to understand this BFS, breadth first search, and all the tree concepts, right? Earlier, I used to thought, hey, I'm learning these things, right? Where am I applying this? But when I gone through the usage of those data structures, right, it's a miracle. Without data structures, nothing. So whatever the software industry we are consuming, right, it build upon data structures only. That's why like whenever you see most of the product based companies, irrespective of experience, you are 10 years, 15 years, they are expecting us to write some programs on data structures. So I'm just giving one example, right? Like if we understand the real usage of the application, like now if you understand the real usage of Splunk, right, you will get some interest. It should not be like naming holding the certification is different from applying what we learn as part of the training. That is a key thing. Like if we learn something in this training, I can provide certification from everyone, like these people are 100% trained on Splunk. And if you are attending some interviews, people will ask where you are actually using this Splunk. You should not hesitate to tell them. So these things. Now coming to picture. So these are personality development and this interview skills, all those stuff. I will add in between. Feel free to bear with me, guys. Is it okay, right? Like adding, or else you just want technical stuff. Thanks. Yeah. I want someone from SLO. What actually SLO is?
Setting up threshold to see any latencies.
Mm-hmm.
So if we see any latencies like setting up for certain seconds or something, if we see more latency, then we need to let the provider, I mean, yeah, is it a provider or just to the
Service level
organization?
objective. Yeah, customer and the service provider. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so customer will be letting service provider know that we are facing some issues, so we are not able to, when we are seeing the problems, correct?
Yes. Like yeah, in a
Okay.
different way. It's understanding between that, and we will put some benchmark threshold, and
Mm.
we can define that. Yeah, go through, right? As I think you people have some time, right? Go through this session. Recording will be available after this evening or somewhere, and go through what we have discussed, so that you can get some concept around this. And tomorrow, right, we will start our session what we have learned today. Okay,
Okay.
we'll ask some questions. I won't pinpoint everyone like, hey, you answer like this. I will pose the question, whoever learn this is 20 to 30 days course only. Just reserve your time here and practice and explore. And now think like, I am putting some time, I am reserved this 30 days to learn this Splunk. And as someone said, right, I am going through Splunk documents and I am understanding the concepts. Yes, you need to spend this 30 days, should be very productive. This 30 days should not be for certification. Like, this 30 days should be some productive thing you should apply on your real time, like wherever you are. Like, if you are opening a company and if you want to introduce this Splunk, right, you should know each and everything. And you can give it the requirement to your team, like, why don't you build this one? They'll come to you like, this I have given, like, I have prepared. As you know very well about Splunk, right, you should command them, no man, like, what dashboards you have created? It's not I'm expecting. Then they will be very active. So these things, right, when we apply whatever we are learning in a real time, that will play key role. Okay, can just can I would like one person to explain data ingestion mechanism which we have learned, and what is the importance of data ingestion. Very high level, very, it's not, I won't expect in a very good English way. Like, whatever you can write, you can express. Even wrong also, I won't cut it down any marks. Just to speak out, uh, the communication, right, it is very much important in a software industry. Whatever you know is more than important what you have explain, like what you have articulate. You know 100%, and you just like, you know 99%. You are failing to articulate in 1%, right? You might lose the opportunity. You, like, customer won't have, like, you can say I know everything, but I'm unable to articulate, then that will give bad impression on you. So as I said, right, it's a more interactive. You can ask some questions, and if I know, right, no one will be more expert on this. I'm not 100%, I can say, expert. Like, I can explore, I can give, because based on my real time experience, and you know some things, right, you can share your thoughts also. Hey Abdul, you are explaining this indexing and ingestion concept, right? I do have this experience in my previous project. I did this. Yeah, I am relate these things. I would very happy you people are more interactive guys. Okay, I think I am done. We
Hi,
have
Abdul.
only 1 or 2 minutes for questions, feedback, so that we can wind up.
Yeah,
Thank
one
you so
question
much
from my
for your
side.
time. Yes, yes, Naresh. Yeah.
What with the lab preparation for the practice we have to do?
For now, like, Splunk will provide a 30 days free trial. So this is just a course content, like a course, right? I will make sure to register to that Splunk, because we should have some ample of time to register that. You can register through web, and we can practice on that part, Naresh.
Okay, it will be online or we have to use a virtual machine for that?
It will give entire that we no need to have virtual machine. That is a different concept. So, like, for that you need to have AWS understanding. If we take Azure, right, I will try to showcase how we can like, integrate this like a Splunk with cloud providers, but that extensive way. Not
Okay.
we will use this Splunk, right? Whatever we have, the open source, they will give for 30 days free trial. So we
Hmm.
will practice more on that.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Uh, Abdul, this
Yes,
is Hari.
yes, Hari.
So,
Yeah, Hari.
what scripting language we need to update for this? A PowerShell or what scripting language we should be
So if
necessary for?
you ask me about Splunk, so we, as I mentioned, right, this course designed for more on creating dashboard, creating alert,
No, no,
and
no.
there is a
You leave about this course. I'm asking in general in our real-time uh,
huh,
scenario, what
exactly
scripting
Python,
language you'll be
Python,
using?
Python,
Python.
Python,
Okay.
Python. If you ask me one scripting language, I would say Python. Python is ruling the market. If you are using on a DevOps side, Python is giving lot many libraries to automate. If you are working on development side, there are a couple of things we can automate easily. So Python is a key thing nowadays.
Okay.
And Python is very vast, Hari. Like if you start learning, right, Python, it's a sea, ocean. Just to define your requirements. If you are working at DevOps
But
side,
shell
right?
scripting
Python
and PowerShell, what about?
shell scripting is a common, right? Like whenever you are using Unix and Linux environment for creating bad jobs, it is limited to Unix or Linux. It's not that much of vast. So, like if you compare both, right, shell scripting and Python, shell scripting it is limited to that Linux or Unix environment itself. But Python is a vast, and you can go through each and every, and they will provide each and every library. So we
Okay.
can compare both. Like if you ask me which one is better in between Bash and Python. Bash you can learn and you can do only what are the concepts. You can learn some commanding and commands and you can implement that Bash scripting and you can evaluate. Not that much of extensive. But try to start learning Python. Python, right?
Okay.
It will give some built-in libraries, pandas, everything, which you can utilize whatever the requirement. Even you can replace the Bash scripting by using Python also. Hari.
Okay. Okay.
Hope I am answered your question, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
So, guys, we are running out of time. Anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, or else we are good to close, right? Yeah, people are leaving.
Yeah, this is Jansi.
Yeah, Jansi.
Yeah, are we learning more about the Splunk Universal Forwarders in the next class?
Yeah, we will go all the things. I will share the content what we are learning, and just guys, just be patient. Like by while closing, don't directly left the meeting. It will give some bad impression, right? If I say, yeah, everyone, you people are all are there. I said, right, I am leaving immediately. I left, right? How you people get that impression? Feel free, like 2 to 3 minutes won't make any difference. If you really have some meeting, you can say, Abdul, I'm leaving. Just you can left. But be patient, like at least 2 to 3 minutes, and we all left together, right? So it's not I'm giving a session to external people. You all come here to learn something, and I am here to understand your requirements, your need, and I'm preparing well, so that I can give better way. And from tomorrow onwards, when I said, yeah, I am done, like you can all good to drop off, then everyone can drop off. Yeah, this is my just request, because I am giving session, you people are left, right? Then it will give some like a bad impression. So yeah, negligence we can say sometimes, but that is due to some requirement, like we need, or we will be having some urgent work. Just give one line, yeah, Abdullah have some work, and we can left. Hope that is clear, right? That is okay, right, everyone? Or else you want, you left from your own without any saying anything.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, now we are good to drop off. You people are. Thank you so
Yep.
much for your
Thank you.
time. We
Yes.
will explore more. Like it's a good to go, guys. Like don't think I am here. I am exploring more to give in a better way, in a realistic way, not in a documented way. So I do my best to provide whatever I can. You can hope on me, and like you can have some confidence on me, so that we'll drive slowly. This we have ample of time to learn these things slowly, topic by topic. Don't think Abdul is not cover anything in these sessions. Like we'll go one by one. Okay, yeah, you are good to drop off, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
We'll
Thank you.
connect tomorrow.
Thank you, Abdul.
Yeah, yeah, thanks.